Oh my gosh. Good morning. All right, so today we're going to be doing a totally different style video. Jaclyn Hill, she posted a video and I had like quite a few people send me a message being like, hey, did you see that Jaclyn Hill is like going through a weight loss journey? And then some people were like, and she said that she's never seen someone document their journey before, so she's doing it. And they're like, you've done it. I've already watched her video from start to finish, and I think I have some input that would be valuable for you guys if you're following her journey, getting that perspective of someone who's like, oh, I've been in that situation and this is how I handled it. And then also now as a professional and how I coach my clients through situations like that. So before we do all of that though, if you are new here, my name is Marissa Dawn, and I have documented my weight loss journey right here on YouTube week by week since the day that I decided to lose weight, and I'm currently down over 100 pounds. Quite a few people sent me DMs on Instagram talking about what I thought about Jaclyn Hill's newest video. I think the most that I knew about her was that she was in the cosmetic side of YouTube. I think she may, and this may be incorrect, she may have been caught up in some like drama with the other makeup people. You know, the makeup people, they're always fighting and arguing. Like, why am I way down here? Okay, so take everything that I'm gonna say in this video with a grain of salt. I don't know her life. I wasn't there for every step of the way. And I think a lot of times when we watch YouTube videos, we think we know exactly. So I am just pointing out some things that I see as somebody who has gone through the journey and learned a lot of things, both failures and successes through my own journey, and also as a weight loss specialist and a personal trainer. It's not me judging her. I wish her all the best. You go, girl. Super excited for you. And with all of that being said, now let me nitpick apart every single, no, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and get started on my thoughts. I watched her most recent video that she uploaded yesterday afternoon, last night, and it was her week 1. And let me tell you, it was a journey. If you guys haven't watched the video, you can go ahead and go and watch it. I'll link it and put it in the description for you guys to go and check it out. So I wrote down notes while watching her video of things that I was like, interesting. I feel like I have something that I could say on that little topic point. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. All right, so she starts out by mentioning that she put on about 45 pounds in 2 years, which COVID, that is a very common theme going around. She also mentioned that she got some blood work back and that she has a lot of inflammation happening in her body. She said that her stomach is sweating, like her skin is red, her cheeks are red, she's just super inflamed, and that's making her feel really uncomfortable. She also mentioned that she's been having really bad period cramps, and she talked to her doctor, and her doctor said that it's from putting on added weight. So her cramps are very heavy, very painful, and this is something that I can relate to. Before I lost weight, the first 2 or 3 days of my period, I was at home in bed with a heating pad, alternating between ibuprofen and Tylenol every 4 hours because my cramps were insane. Since I have lost weight, I don't bleed as heavy as before. TMI? I don't know. I don't bleed as heavy as before, and my cramps, sometimes I don't even need to take Tylenol or ibuprofen at all. Every now and then I'm like, I could take the edge off. Let me pop some pills. The good kind, not the illegal kind. She also said that she finally feels motivated to get healthy for herself rather than trying to drop weight for a trip or a photo shoot or just a special event that's coming up. So those are all really positive signs that I'm hearing from her in her video that she is going to be successful on this. So many people start their weight loss journey with the wrong reason. So either they just broke up with somebody, they want to get a revenge body, they have an event coming up, a trip that they're going to take, they're getting married in like a few months. If your reason has an expiration point, you get over that person, or that trip is 2 weeks away and you haven't reached that goal, and after that time, like, what is the point? Or your wedding has already happened, what is the point? Then most likely you're not going to be successful. Now, there are people who are successful and they do keep it off, but more likely it's that you're not going to be successful because it has an expiration point. So far in the video, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm loving all of the things that I'm hearing, but then it kind of started to take a turn. There were some points where I'm like, So we're gonna go ahead and get into a few of those things. One thing that she did mention is that she's going to be going grain-free, and that was recommended by her doctor because of her inflammation. She says that she's gonna focus on eating fresh foods, veggies, lean proteins, basically unprocessed foods. Whatever Mother Nature made is what she's going to be eating. But aside from that, I didn't really hear her talking specifically about a plan in place. Now, she may have a plan, and when I say plan, I mean like, okay, week 1, we're going to cut this out and we're going to introduce this. Week 2, we're gonna cut this out and we're gonna introduce this, and then we're gonna start working out. So I don't know if she's working with a personal trainer or a nutritionist or what. She didn't really get too specific into that. And from what I can tell, she is going completely cold turkey. Which, yes, if your doctor says go grain-free, go grain-free, but it doesn't have to be cold turkey, because what I foresee happening is that she's going to cut out all of her sugars, all of her carbs, and she's gonna go through a pretty big detox, and that's gonna mess with her physically and emotionally, and that can kind of be too much too soon for a lot of people, which causes them to go into avoidance and then just totally falling off track. Because if you change everything at once, it's harder to maintain, and then you get defeated and you feel down on yourself. She also mentioned that she feels the need to snack a lot. I'm not sure if that's a habit that she developed during quarantine or if that's something that she has always done. And what a lot of people don't realize is that snacking, which I like to call grazing, right? Like you just go throughout your day and you feel the need to have something in your mouth. Usually that is tied to some type of emotions that are going on. So whether that be you're stressed and grazing or chewing on something helps you feel less stressed, whether it's you're bored, having anxiety, or just there's a lot of emotional things that can be tied into grazing. So I'm wondering if that's one of the things, and if that is something that she does struggle with, I wonder if she's going to try and approach that more from a mindset side of things rather than just being like, no, I'm just gonna say no, I can't snack. Because if you just say, no, I can't snack, then you're basically burying the problem, but the problem's still gonna be there and it's gonna rear its ugly head in the near future. So it's very important to start from the root, which if that is an emotional thing, then let's be like, all right, girl, we know that when we are bored and stressed out or sad or have a negative interaction with someone, we tend to graze. What is something that I can do to make me feel better about that negative interaction or this anxiety that I'm having that doesn't have to do with food? Can I call somebody? Can I journal about it? Like there's so many other things that you can do besides food. But if grazing is just more of like a habit thing, then I always recommend for my clients to pop some mints or gum. But I don't necessarily know for sure what exactly she's doing. I think in week 2's video, we'll be able to get a better idea of that. I just have to comment really quick. Did you guys see the part where she was washing the lettuce? Well, actually her boyfriend, is it her boyfriend or her husband? I'm not sure. He washed the lettuce, put it in the spinny thingy-majig and then soaked it again. And after cleaning the lettuce, he soaked it in that stuff and there was spiders in there and dirt and a whole bunch of crazy crap. I was like, oh my gosh, how many spiders have I eaten? Because I get the same lettuce and I don't even wash it. It says it's already washed. I just trust him. There's one point in the video that I think would be a perfect teachable moment for a lot of people. So she's talking about how she's feeling emotional about something, and usually when she's feeling some type of way emotionally, she resorts to comfort food. She says she doesn't eat a lot of it, she just needs a little bit of it. But that's just on a side note, like when we say, oh, guys, my clients tell me all the time, I don't eat a lot. But then when I have them like sit down and calculate their calories and serving sizes at the end of the day, they're eating like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. It's because they don't know what they're eating, like how many calories are in what they're eating, and they're not paying attention to serving sizes. So I just wanted to point that out. You may think that you're not eating a lot, but do you actually know how much you're eating? I'm doing this because I just realized how badass my nails are. She said, and I have it in quotes right here, I need to be harder on myself about that, talking about saying no to cravings and just breaking the habit of giving in to cravings. Now, that's something that I think we need to dive in a little bit more. So she says that macaroni and cheese makes her feel better, but she needs to learn how to say no to those cravings and just move on about it, right? Now, I think that just moving on and forgetting about it is kind of doing a disservice to yourself. I think we need to actually break things down a little bit. So I think that she should journal about it and ask herself, okay, how does macaroni and cheese make me feel? So right away, it's gonna make her feel good. It's gonna give her some sense of comfort. It's going to quiet the emotions that she's been having, right? But then what happens after she eats the macaroni and cheese? Later that night, or even the next day, or the day after that, or let's even look a month in advance, or a month after that, right? At the end of the day, macaroni and cheese, and I'm not saying specifically macaroni and cheese, but those comfort foods ultimately have gotten her to where she is today. Inflamed, having issues with her menstrual cycle, feeling uncomfortable, wanting to slim down and get healthier, right? So ultimately, when you think about macaroni and cheese, you should be thinking macaroni and cheese actually doesn't make me feel good in the long run. Macaroni and cheese makes me feel in the moment, makes me feel good in the moment. So those comfort foods are just instant gratification, but really the long term, it's not getting you where you want to be, and it's making you feel worse in the long run. So if we can shift our way of thinking to, right now, what can I do to make myself feel better? Shift that into thinking, okay, what can I do to make myself feel better right now, but isn't going to make me feel worse days or weeks or months in advance? Just a teachable moment I thought was really important. I had the same exact conversation with one of my clients recently, but it wasn't about macaroni and cheese, it was about croissants. You know who you are. I really love that she took the time to get her measurements done. Tracking measurements is going to be so much better mentally than tracking the scale. And speaking of the scale, so she stepped on the scale, I think it was 3 days into starting this journey, which she said she wasn't gonna weigh herself every single day. But even then, I would only recommend weighing yourself once a week. So she weighed herself 3 days in, and the scale had gone up. And she even said that it left her feeling defeated and discouraged. That is the number one reason why I say, yeah, you can track the scale, but ultimately the number at your feet doesn't mean anything, because the scale can fluctuate for so many different reasons. It's better to just focus on putting in the work, putting in the new habits, the new lifestyle, rather than looking at the results at your feet, okay? And also, the scale may have gone up, but her measurements could have gone down. Obviously not within 3 days. 3 days is not enough time to expect to see any type of difference. So make sure that you're only weighing yourself once a week. And yes, do use your measurements to track the progress that you're making. Let's talk about her workouts for a second. This was just a minor little red flag that I saw thrown. She was 5 days in, and she mentioned that she had only gotten on the treadmill once, and she felt pretty disappointed in herself and felt like that wasn't good enough. This is another big mistake that a lot of people make. They think that they have to, like I said earlier, change everything at once, and that includes workouts. And let me tell you, she did indeed cut out grains and sugar cold turkey. And when you do that, you're gonna go through the detox, okay? So you're gonna be feeling emotional, you may have headaches, you may feel a little bit shaky, you're gonna be feeling hungrier than usual because you're detoxing all of that sugar out of your system. So adding in workouts on top of feeling that way is gonna make you feel even worse. So if I were her coach, I would recommend to her, like, girl, don't even work out the first week. Get through your detox, feel comfortable eating without the grains, without the sugar, and then once you feel comfortable and that energy is back, then you can add in your workout. She needs to schedule in her workouts in order to make that a priority, and she's not 5 days into the week being like, oh man, I didn't work out. But yeah, definitely week 1 when you're going through the detox, screw the workouts, survive, okay? I know when I went through my detox, I was going through all types of things. I was shaky, I was very mean to my partner at the time. Okay, this is the biggest red flag problem that I saw with her week 1, okay? At the end of the video, she goes out into the living room, and her Jordan is sitting on the couch playing Call of Duty and she's asking him, what should I eat? What should I eat? Okay, this gets really kind of like touch and go and sticky, all right? So if you are in a relationship and you decide that you want to change your lifestyle, that does not mean that your partner has to be included in that. In fact, it's probably better if they're not, because you cannot rely on anybody else around you to encourage you to eat healthy. Yes, they may do it for like the first week or so, but once you get into like week 2, week 3, or week 4, month 6, they don't care. It's not the most important thing to them. I promise you, you are the only person that is going to care about your weight loss journey. Okay, no one's going to care as much as you. So you can't rely on other people to encourage you to eat healthy. Don't even ask anybody else what you should eat. You should be able to rely on yourself for that. Unless you have a coach or someone that you're paying to care about your weight loss journey, then that's a different thing. But in that moment, she was really relying on him. And I think that maybe it could have been that she didn't have any carbs or any sugar and she just wanted that little extra support from him. But that is just something that you can't always rely on. And I see so many people get into arguments with their partners about it, and then they get discouraged because they think their partner doesn't care. And then they're like, well, if they're not going to do it, then I don't have the support to do it. You can rely on yourself to do this, okay? And even when it comes to meal prepping, like she said that she could send somebody from her team to go and get some ground turkey to make tacos, right? If she can send somebody to go and do that, then why is she asking him what she should eat? Like, she should already have that planned out. So maybe a little bit more of planning in place, making sure that you have the groceries that you need, on top of not relying on your significant other to push you in the right direction, because they can't always do that for you. They can encourage you, see you doing good, saying, hey babe, you did a great job, but them prepping meals for you is not always realistic. And just relying on them in that aspect is really not, it's not going to work in the long run. So I think that she's really going to come to a point where she realizes, like, that's him, this is me, this is my choice, I need to do this, I need to rely on myself to do it. Or you have a lot of people on your team, pay somebody to make that happen for you. There are lots of places that do meal prep. Buy some meal prep and have it in your fridge ready to go. The last thing that I'm going to say is, and it's not specifically geared towards her, I think it's more geared towards everybody, right? So even through her week 1, you saw there were some down moments. She felt disappointed in herself for not getting workouts in. She was craving macaroni and cheese. She had some issues with her husband, Jordan, boyfriend, I don't know, let me know in the comments, please, again. So there's a lot of down moments. Even when she was getting her measurements done, she felt discouraged. So there's a lot of down moments, but just remember, those moments of feeling down and unsure and discouraged, they do not define your future or what the journey is going to look like. What defines what your journey is going to look like is you consistently getting back to the new habits and back on track, doing the things that you said that you were going to do to get the results, okay? So rule of thumb, just a few little tips. I have lots of other videos on how to lose weight, my top 10 weight loss tips, how to start a weight loss journey. Rule of thumb is 1, do the mindset work, and 2, make sure that you have a plan in place, especially when it comes to food. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you like this video, if you want me to do more videos, reaction videos to the future videos that she posts on her weight loss journey. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this video or not, let me know. Either way. All right, guys, remember, as always, you hold the power in your hands to make any changes that you want to make, and I hope you're all doing well on your fitness and weight loss journeys. Bye, guys.